And here we go, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Jamal About Sports. As always, I'm your host, Jamal Hayden. We have a big show to get to. We've got some Knicks discussion, some NBA moves that recently have happened that we're going to talk about. We've got a couple of notes from the NFL. We'll talk a little Mets and Yankees baseball. But first, I'm thrilled and pleased to welcome my main man, one of my oldest and dearest friends in the world, Justin Rubin, to the show. Justin, how you doing, my man?
Jamal, I'm the one that's thrilled. I'm the one that's honored. Buddy, this is a long time coming, and I've been waiting for the invite. And here we are.
Yeah.
So let's go.
Let's go, baby. Yeah, well, that's the beauty of technology, right?
Yes.
You know, just for the folks out there, Justin has long been one of my biggest supporters. And in fact, pretty much if it wasn't for you, I don't think I ever would have started a podcast, because I don't know if you remember this, but literally, I'm pretty sure, it was like the fall of '08. Financial crisis. I just gotten canned from one of my jobs. And we were just talking on the phone, and I was like, maybe I could use this as an opportunity to try to get into the sports broadcasting world somehow. And you said, dude, you ever heard of these things called podcasts? And I was like, no, the hell is that? And you're like, yeah, it's cool. It's kind of like you do like your own radio show almost. He's like, and you said, you said, do you have a Mac? And I said, no. I think I may have even said, what's that? I sell technology for a living. I had no idea. And you said, go get yourself a MacBook. It comes on it comes with it. It's like an app. It comes with it. And you can do it. I said, okay. Sure enough, I did. I'll never forget. I walked over the Brooklyn Bridge to the Apple store down in Soho, got my first MacBook ever, and they had this little app right on the thing called podcasts, and I just started doing it. And that was almost 18 years ago.
I do remember that. Yep. I remember seeing that little app icon or whatever and going, yeah. I think they've made this pretty much foolproof. So
yeah,
almost anyone can do it. And if anyone could, it was you, man. So.
Well, thanks, brother. But yeah, and then of course they changed it, and then I figured out a different way to then I was using SoundCloud for a while and what have you. But so yes, so it is thrilling now to be able, because you're in LA, I'm in New York, and so in the old days the only way to have somebody come on was to be physically on site with me. But now,
right.
The beauty of expanded technology and the Riverside platform here that we're using, we don't have to be in the same room. So this is fantastic.
It's great. And by the way, I have been a fan since day one. So when I say I've been looking forward to this, I've been looking forward to this, man.
Thank you, man. Now, as I said,
thanks for having me on.
My pleasure. You've long been one of my biggest supporters, and I appreciate it immensely. I know you listen often, and you always provide really good feedback and honest feedback, and I appreciate that. So thank you for that. So let's start a little bit with the Knicks. I mean, I'm still basking in the glow here. I don't know about you. I mean, we've been long time Knicks fans. But one thing I don't know if we ever got into this, so I'm going to ask you now. How did you become a Knicks fan? Was it through your dad? I'm going to guess probably, right?
Great question.
Like, what are your first memories? How old were you of really starting to follow and like the Knicks and kind of appreciate what was going on?
That's a great question. It's funny because I actually sent out a text to all my sisters the other day, and I asked them a question. I said, do you remember the name of the New York Knicks that visited Greg in the hospital?
Oh.
In 1978.
Okay.
And they all said, no, gosh, I don't even remember that happening. So anyways, my brother Greg was pretty sick when he was young. He spent a lot of time in the hospital when he was a freshman in high school. And my dad was a huge Knicks fan. He played basketball his whole life, ended up playing in college, but was a huge fan of those championships Knicks teams.
Mm-hmm.
And Greg was a great basketball player. I'd say he was a great athlete in general, but I think basketball was probably his best sport. He was a good baseball player, probably would have been a great football player, but he was a lefty and he could shoot. He's a talented kid. But anyways, when he got sick, my dad, I don't know who he talked to, but arranged for a Nick to come visit. And that Nick was none other than Butch Beard. And he brought a basketball signed by the entire Knicks squad.
Nice.
And I kind of remember watching the Knicks when I was young. I remember we were painting houses or painting the local rectory at the local church in 1973. I was 5 years old. And I remember talk about the Knicks winning the championship. I don't think I even understood what that meant.
Right.
But by 78, I was a sports fan, and so when Butch Beard showed up with that basketball, I was all in, man. All in.
Nice. Do you remember the first game you went to? Did you go with your dad and Greg, or was it just you and your dad? Or
the first game I went to was with my dad and Greg and Uncle Bob, my Uncle Bob.
Brother
nice. Uncle Bob. Yeah.
Oh yeah, love Uncle Bob.
And I want to say it was against the Cavs.
Okay. They probably had those really ugly uniforms back then. The Cavs.
Probably why I remember it. Yeah. And I remember watching a game on television when Clyde got traded to the Cavs.
Yeah.
And thinking, I know this name. I know this guy is a Knick legend. What's he doing playing for the Cavaliers? And then when we showed up, the team was wearing the same uniform.
Right.
So, yeah, it was definitely the Cavs.
Yeah, I think that was 79. I think he got traded to Cleveland, I think. Yeah. Something like that.
Don't know.
Yeah.
But as for this Knicks run, I am just so kind of bummed I'm not in New York and didn't get to experience any of that energy, because I can't even imagine what it's been like in New York over these past months.
Yeah.
I truthfully never thought it was going to happen. I just thought, I mean, as a Detroit Lions fan, you know what it feels like to be snake bit and to know, geez, you know what? This is as close as this is, and as much as I want it, I can't want it too much because something's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, but first of all, I'm thrilled because both my sons are living in New York now, and they're both like huge Knicks fans, which I love. I think I did something right in the world if I raised my boys to be good Knicks fans. But I know how much they've enjoyed this, and they were going to that bar Schaefer's. They were regulars there and having soaking it up and enjoying every bit of it. So happy for the city.
They're a little older than you and I were in '94 when we were roommates living together on 31st Street in Manhattan.
Yes,
and
indeed.
That was the first real disappointment from a Knicks fan perspective, right? Because we kind of sucked in the early 80s, and they kind of got respectable. Bernard King, 84, beat Pistons in that first round, which was that crazy overtime game. I think it was a double overtime game. Bernard had 50. They lost to the Celtics in the second round, which was certainly I think the Celtics won it all that year. At the minimum, they made the finals against the Lakers that year. So certainly no shame in losing to the Celtics. But they made it a series. I remember they were down 2-0. They tied it up at 2-2, and they ended up losing, I think, at 6. But then when we got Pat Riley, right, it was like, holy shit. We got Pat Riley. Like, let's go. We have Patrick Ewing, and we've got Pat Riley. And then, that 94 team just felt like it was our time to win. And then, up 3-2. The Starks game, the Jake O'Donnell game.
Don't.
So I wanted to save this story for when you came on. So
oh gosh, it's so painful to this day. And I try to explain to my kids, to my boys especially, like how much the Knicks meant to us.
Yep.
And how much the Knicks meant to me. I mean, look, Jamal, you may or may not know this, but I almost didn't graduate college because of the New York Knicks. Do you know this?
No, I don't know the story.
So senior year, The Knicks are playing the Celtics in the playoffs.
Yeah, that was
And the
90,
Knicks are
right?
This is 1990. This is
Yeah.
when they're starting to assemble. You know, that the core of that group.
Yeah.
Knicks play the Celtics. The series goes 7 games. 5 games. That's right. 5.
That's where they won Game 5 in the Boston Garden when
Exactly right.
Ewing hit the 3 from the corner to kind of put the icing on the cake.
Exactly right. I watched that game from beginning to end. I'm in school in Worcester, Massachusetts, surrounded by Celtics fans. Sunday afternoon, I walk into the library after the game, triumphant, hands raised above my head. Let's go. The kid in my class looks at me. He's like, you study for that Hi-Fi Sci exam? This is the history and philosophy of science.
Oh, boy.
I got to pass one science class to graduate Holy Cross.
Okay.
And I look at him, I said, the exam's not till Tuesday. And he goes, it's tomorrow. I said, it's tomorrow. He says, yeah. I go, that's okay. It's just the second half of the semester. He goes, it's cumulative.
Oh, no.
And I went, what? And he goes, yeah, it's cumulative and it's tomorrow. And I went, oh, shit. And so I went and I tried to study. I walked into the exam the next day. I knew 2 questions. I was done with that exam in 10 minutes. I sat there for 15. And then finally I said to myself, well, I could just wait it out, or I could just, take my lumps and go. And I closed the book and I walked up and I placed it on the professor's desk. We made eye contact and I kind of gave him this look, like, take pity on me, sir.
Yeah.
And I could hear this guy, Celtics fan, snickering in the back as he watched me walk out. And I thought for sure I failed the class and I wasn't going to graduate. The guy did take pity on me. He mercifully gave me, I think, a D+ or whatever. And I was able to graduate. But that would have been the fault of the Knicks. Because that's how much they meant to me.
Sure.
And so, that run that we had, those battles with the Bulls, I mean, we lived and died, and then obviously the Rockets series, dude.
Yeah.
Just so painful.
Yeah. Well,
so painful.
Yeah, I mentioned the Jake O'Donnell game. So that was, I want to say Knicks were up 2-1 in the series at the time. So if they win, they're going to be up 3-1. It was in the Garden.
It was in the Garden for sure.
Knicks are up 2, under a minute left. The Rockets give the ball to Carl Herrera for some reason, who was like a guy that could never score. He was like a defensive guy. The Knicks double-teamed him. He kicked it out. Sam Cassell, who was a rookie at the time, who I knew well because he played at Florida State. In those days, Maryland was in the ACC, obviously, and I used to go watch all the Maryland games when I was in college. Drills a 3. So now the Knicks are down 1, but they have the last possession.
Yes.
Right? 28 seconds left. So plenty of time to get off a good shot, run a play, get it to Ewing, or however they were going to do it. And Patrick used to have a habit of setting a high screen around the 3-point line. Sometimes maybe it was it wasn't 100% all the way set, maybe.
Sure.
But they never called it on him, ever. They never, except this motherfucker, Jake O'Donnell, who is a longtime NBA ref, whom you and I never liked, by the way, even before this call, calls you in for a moving screen. Last possession. That's it. Game over. And I remember you and I just looked at each other. We were in our apartment.
The shock on Patrick's face when it happened, like there's no fucking way you just made that call now.
Yep.
You and I looking at each other like, I mean,
yeah.
How our furniture managed to make it through that evening was just shock and surprise. But that one stayed with me for days.
Yeah.
For days.
For
man.
days.
I missed. I'll never forget reading the post on a bus going downtown, missing my stop by like 30 blocks because I was so fucking angry.
Yeah.
Still so fucking angry, man.
Yeah. I think we, if memory serves, we finally were like, all right, we got to get out of this apartment. Like, let's go get a beer someplace. I think we wandered the streets for like a half an hour aimlessly, just looking at each other like, wait, they really made that call? Like, we just lost that game? What?
Brutal. So brutal.
So to go from that, I mean, because I don't really count the 99 series. We knew we were completely overmatched by the Spurs in 99. It was a weird year. It was the strike year. Ewing got hurt in the playoffs. They didn't even have him. I didn't expect much out of that. 94, we really thought we were going to win.
So remind me, the 99 playoff run.
Yeah.
Was that the Allen Houston floater?
Correct.
That,
First round against the Heat. Knicks were the
Yes.
8th seed, and Miami was the 1 seed. Then
Yes.
they demolished the Hawks in the second round.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
then the 4-point play LJ against the Pacers in the conference finals. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So that series against the Heat, was that also the fight?
No, that was the
year before?
The year before, yeah.
Okay.
Where the guys got suspended and everything, yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. You and I had so many conversations about that. And Tim Hardaway saying it's going to be very, very interesting. Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah, David Stern.
Yeah. Oh
Gonna be very interesting. Yeah.
Well, that is the only time my lovely wife Tara ever threw me out of the house. She literally looked at me and said, "Get the fuck out. I cannot hear you anymore. You are not going to watch any more games in this house because your behavior is
You're a grown man, Justin. What are you doing?"
And it was.
Yeah.
It was. I think we had just gotten married too. She was like, no, she was laying down the law. She was like, you cannot. And then so in 99, that's the year we went on we got married in 98, and then 99 we went on our honeymoon. And so that whole series took place while we were in Paris.
Gotcha.
So I saw very little of it. I saw some highlights. I think I caught maybe the first game because I was up late at night, jet lag or something like that. I don't really even remember it, and it wasn't much of a series anyway. So Patrick wasn't playing, obviously. And so
it wasn't much of one. Yeah. Obviously the Pacers series was thrilling, and the LJ 4-point play, that was great. Because obviously we had a lot of battles with the Pacers, particularly when Jordan went on his little hiatus there, and they sort of replaced the Bulls as the main Knicks rival. So to go from that 94 disappointment to the elation of this year was, I mean, I think in every Knicks fan, like every Knicks fan of a certain age, shall we say, that experienced a disappointment in 94 and subsequent years after, I mean, it made this championship all the more sweeter, I think.
Yes. And you know what? There's something really interesting about this squad, man. If they are not universally liked, they're certainly not universally loved because they're the Knicks and we're from New York, and that's just no one's going to universally love a New York squad.
Yeah.
But there was a feeling about this team that people appreciated. And, it may have something to do with the fact that our star is 6'0" and kind of chubby.
Has a lot to do with it, I think. Yep.
The personalities are pretty muted.
Mm-hmm.
These are all really solid guys. But there was something about watching this team play, because it was a team, that just was really thrilling. And it makes me think back to what it must have been like for my dad to watch those DeBusschere and Clyde and Pearl and Willis, all those guys. I mean, just because there's that one highlight that keeps getting shown over and over of the Knicks basically running, every corner of the floor, in a half-court set where the ball touches everyone. It just moves flawlessly. Yeah. For an open three at the end of the shot clock, and you just go, God, that's great basketball. Mm-hmm. That was just great basketball. And they were selfless, and there are plays that you look back on from this run that you just are going to remember for a really, really long time. Yep. Plays and moments. So, it was a blast.
Yeah. No, it was, and I mean, I first admit, I talked about it many, many times on the pod, leading all through the preseason, leading up during the early part of the season. I mean, I didn't think firing Thibodeau was the right move. I certainly didn't think replacing with Mike Brown was the right move. I told you, I told you, I ran into Mike Brown. I think he lives in my town because the Knicks are in Westchester, and I live in Westchester. And he couldn't have been nicer. And it was after the first 2 games, so they were off to a 2-0 start. So everybody's feeling good, Like, hey, coach, He's like, hey, thanks. So was rooting for the guy. I mean, he's an easy guy to root for.
Sure.
Very honest answers in the press conferences, right? He's, but you're just kind of like, it's Mike Brown. Like, he's a solid coach, but nothing to write home about, you didn't think. Certainly what didn't appear to be an upgrade over Tibbs.
Sure.
But
is that what surprised you the most about this run? His ability to make adjustments?
Yes. Yes.
Because I didn't see it coming.
No. And that's probably the biggest difference. And I guess Leon Rose knew something. I mean, remember, Tibbs was Leon Rose's client. Like, I don't think Leon Rose really wanted to fire him, probably, but he must have seen something or known something because, it all goes back to down 2-1 to Atlanta, right? And then he basically said, okay, what we're doing is not working. Let's start running the offense through Cat in a high post. And the whole kind of thing changed right from there.
Good on him, man.
Yeah.
Because Tibbs wouldn't have done that.
No, he was intractable. That was his biggest flaw. He's just, and I think Buck sort of got a little bit more flexible late in his career, but Tibbs and Buck are very similar, Buck Showalter, right?
Sure.
Really good guys to bring in when things have gone wrong for a while and you need to get back to respectability, at least as a starting point, and then you can kind of launch. Like that was Buck with the Yankees after the whole Stump Merrill fiasco, right, in the late 80s, early 90s when things were not going well. And then they replaced him with Joe Torre, and everyone's like, what? Joe Torre? Are you crazy?
Similarities.
Right?
Joe
Torre was kind of a journeyman manager, had a little success with Atlanta, but wasn't exactly considered a top quality dude. Actually, I think Mike Brown probably had a better career. He was coach of the year twice. I think Torre won manager of the year once that year in Atlanta in like 1980. But yeah, I think there's a lot of parallels can be drawn there. And same thing, like even though the Yankees, those 90s teams, Jeter was a star, but like you could see Brunson he's got the Jeter playbook down. He is just flawless with the media. He's never going to say anything incendiary. He's the hardest worker on a team, right? He's not a big rah-rah guy, but he leads by example, the same way Jeter was.
Yeah.
And, like those Yankees teams, Bernie Williams was a quiet superstar. Mo, quiet superstar, right? O'Neal, grinder. Not a star, but a really good player and a grinder, like a Josh Hart, equivalent.
Great analogy, man. Yeah, there are a lot of similarities.
Yeah. And, they're just so easy to root for. They're selfless. The star player, I'm not going to call him let's not get carried away. He's still making hundreds of millions of dollars, but he took a lot less money. I don't know of any other guys in the NBA doing that. He could have gotten the Supermax contract, and he didn't. They wouldn't have been able to afford some of the pieces they have now. So yeah, man, it was just to go from like obviously it's a perfect illustration. The NBA season's too damn long, but there was that stretch where they went 2-9 over an 11-game stretch. I think it was like maybe late January into February or something like that. And it was just, I definitely remember coming on and saying, like, this team just doesn't have it. Like, they're a 50-win team. They're going to probably win 1 or 2 rounds of the play. But, like, this is not a championship caliber team.
Right.
Obviously.
You could see the potential for the Celtics to get much better.
Yep.
And you weren't seeing the Knicks' potential to take that step. And that to me looked like a recipe for disaster.
Exactly. Yeah, well, like,
I just thought...
Go ahead.
I thought we were going to face them again. And, given what happened last year, I thought the Celtics were going to be really hungry.
Yep.
And they were going to take us to the woodshed. I really had fears of that. But
yeah,
thank God for the Sixers, baby.
Which, and how weird was that? Like, they're up 3-1. They lose to a compromised Sixers team. And then the Knicks absolutely blow the Sixers' doors off. One close game, Knicks figured out a way to win it. The others were all blowouts. After being down 2-1 to the Hawks, they completely ripped through them. They completely manhandled the Cavaliers. By the way, how great was it to watch James Harden lug his body around the court, not even pretending to try to play defense.
He's just stealing money at this point.
I think the Cavs are bringing him back. Like, why?
I think they are as well.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
That was nuts. So yeah, just a thrilling playoff run, a thrilling finals. And I don't even dislike the Spurs. Like, Wemby got a little annoying there for sure. But,
Right.
I mean, and the Spurs, I mean, this is obviously not some great insight, but they're going to be a problem for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're
Dylan
gonna be
Harper
screwed.
might just be scratching the surface.
Yeah. He's good. Castle's good.
Yeah.
They're gonna be trouble.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, and this may not be politically correct, but
I don't care.
do you think it's time for some of the veterans to get together and start treating Wemby the way the WNBA players treat Caitlin Clark?
just knocking him around constantly.
I think he needs it. I mean, he was anointed not having proven anything.
Yeah. Well,
And and by the way, he's not afraid to throw an elbow or
agreed.
bounce someone's head off the floor. So
Agreed.
you know, he may need to take a couple lumps.
Look, you and I, we grew up in a much different era. I mean, you know, the days of Bob Lanier full on decking Bill Laimbeer in the face are over, or the Rambus clothesline of McHale, or the Knicks basically bludgeoning Scottie Pippen every time he came down the lane, or
I saw a highlight the other night of Daryl Dawkins and what was it, Marcus Johnson for the Trailblazers, literally squaring off like round one of a heavyweight fight and throwing haymakers.
Yeah.
And like they were out there for the next game
playing
some basketball, you know, they shook hands, whatever.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine it's so different.
Yeah. So it's
so
a much
different. Oh, by the way, speaking of different, because I think he's a faux tough guy, and I wish to God he played in the era with Mason Oakley.
Yeah.
I ran into Draymond the other day.
Oh, you did? Oh, I can't
Yes.
stand him. Oh, he drives me nuts.
He was filling his car with gas, and I just drove by. I was in the car with Tara and Elia, my wife and my daughter, and we went around this gas station. We were looking for parking. We went around once, and I said, "Oh, that's Draymond." We had to go around again. Wasn't intentional. But when we got there, he was standing in front of his car, and I just looked at him and I just went, "So what's that?" I said, "Knicks in 5." He goes, "I don't care." I go, "You may not care, but you certainly were wrong."
Yeah. He, I mean, obviously a really good player, but he revels in that role as being an irritant and an instigator. And, you know, it's the league, they tolerate nonsense now. That's like you're right. Like that, what he does is fake tough guy stuff. That's not, you know, and,
I'd like to see him irritate or instigate Anthony Mason.
Yeah, no.
Or the Davis brothers.
Yeah. Like, and I'm not saying this to disparage Cat. I think Cat is a gentleman and he's a likable guy. But like going after Cat is not exactly evidence of being a tough guy. Like
Exactly right.
You know, Cat's just too nice almost, you know? I mean, that's
right.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a better thing that, you know, the league isn't as frankly violent as it used to be, but it could certainly use a little bit more physicality in that regard. And as far as guys having a kind of, I mean, Wemby really, I'd say if you're being generous, he's chippy, but you could make an argument that he's maybe a dirty player based on his postseason performance anyway.
Yeah. He's gonna have to curtail some of that, or else I think people will start taking shots at him.
But
he's not built for it either.
No.
I mean,
No. No.
I'm not saying he's not going to get there. He very well could. But right now, there's some grown men in the league that could, push him around.
Yeah.
Into situations he doesn't want to be in.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it. He's nowhere near as sturdy as Joel Embiid. And it seems like every time Joel Embiid hits the floor, he's hurt. But,
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, you're right about he's been anointed. The NBA's been doing this now for, they keep, it's like golf. Like golf, every time a young guy wins a couple of tournaments, they want to anoint him the next Tiger Woods.
Right.
And, as you know, I'm not the biggest Tiger Woods fan, but there's no obviously denying his ability and what he did on the course. And there's never going to be another Tiger Woods. I mean, it just isn't. And there's probably never going to be another Jordan. I mean, obviously, I know they're two completely different players as far as, height and positions that they play and all that kind of stuff. But, Jordan is actually, he's our era, right? I guess the younger generations, they look to Steph, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
As being probably the best player of their era or LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, people forget, Jordan was in the league, 7 years before he won a championship?
Right. That's right.
He faced some battles.
And
lost.
Yeah.
Lost battles.
Yeah. I mean, the Pistons beat the hell out of him in those series.
Right.
The Knicks beat the hell out of him. Now, obviously, the Knicks going to get past them, but yeah. Speaking of which, speaking of LeBron anyway, LeBron, no longer a Laker. Just announced, he just came over the wire, so to speak. Take a look. He said, let's see. Find this. No, we don't want that. LeBron tells Lakers he plans to play elsewhere. So, LeBron is one of the greatest athletes in history. We'll always be thankful for his 8 years. Oh, this is Jeannie Buss, the owner of the Lakers. Mm-hmm. James posted, it was truly an honor to wear the Lakers uniform. I guess the question, he's a free agent? Or he gets just to decide he wants to just do whatever he wants to do? What?
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care. Don't give a shit about LeBron. Don't care about the Lakers.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I know. You live out there.
He's going to go play with the Warriors. He'll go play with Steph. And, all that nonsense from, years past will be,
So mean.
I know. Let's see if you can get KD to join you.
The worst was Durant leaving OKC when they had a 3-1 lead on the Warriors. And by the way, he was a huge reason why they didn't win that series because couldn't make a goddamn shot the last two games of that series. And then he leaves there and goes to Golden State to go, if you can't beat him, join him in the ultimate. It's awful. Awful. I find him to be a very unlikable figure as well, by the way, Durant.
He is. And of course, he was running his mouth this week. I'm sure you saw about the Knicks and how we better enjoy it. It'll be 53 years before they win again.
Oh, I did not see that. Oh, he did say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he did.
How'd you? I'm sorry. What did you guys do this? Wait, what? And what are you on your 9th team now? Who are you playing for? The Phoenix? Because they're pretty relevant. Or no, he's on Houston.
Houston.
Yeah, that's right. Houston. Yeah.
And he'll be gone by the middle of next year from here. He'll find another home.
Yeah.
He'll piss some more people off because that's a decent young team too. But I don't think they need him.
It is. Yeah. They have that. Sengun is pretty good, and Smith.
Amen Thompson.
Amen Thompson of the Thompson twins. Yeah. Jabari Smith, I think, is on that team.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They got some talented young players on that team. But yeah, I didn't really understand the Giannis Heat trade. Didn't seem. At first, I was like, oh, now the Heat are going to be a problem. I don't know. He's 31, a lot of tread on the tires, been hurt the last couple of years. And who else is on that team? Him and Bam and Andrew Wiggins, who's been largely a disappointment his entire career.
Yeah, any team without Jaime Jaquez Jr. Is not as good as a team with Jaime Jaquez Jr. That's all I'm going to say on that one.
I mean, that was a weird one to me. The Nets trading for Julius Randle didn't seem to make a whole lot of sense to me. I'm not really sure what that was about. The one that could be interesting, just purely from a basketball standpoint, take the off the court stuff out of it, is the classic, high reward, low risk move is Portland getting Ja Morant.
Yeah.
That would I would say this. If he can't get his shit together and figure it out there, where that's basically basketball obscurity. I know they have a very rabid local fan base, but Portland does not get a lot of national media attention.
Right.
If he can't get his shit together and straighten up and fly right there, then he's never going to, and his career will be over in 2 years. But if he does, that could,
no denying his talent, man.
Yeah.
He's a talented
it's a shame
guy.
too. I loved him in college. I didn't really know much about him until the tournament that year. And then just watching him play, I mean, he played with such, with his hair on fire, and, the guys like that are fun to watch. And he just turned out to be such a dope in the NBA.
Yeah.
It's a shame. And then LaMelo getting traded.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's
And then
weird.
Bridges right after.
Yeah. Charlotte had one of the best records in the NBA for like the last 40-something games. And they got rid of two of their best players. I mean, I know Bridges had horrific off-the-court stuff, the domestic abuse thing.
Yes.
And LaMelo seems like maybe not the best teammate, I would say. I don't think guys love playing with him. I mean, again, talented, but he's a guy whose effort, I think, is questionable at times. But yeah, a lot of movement. I don't think anything of huge significance so far anyway. We'll see. LeBron probably will end up in Golden State, but Draymond opted out, so I don't know if they'll, if you bring in LeBron, can you also bring Draymond back on that team? I don't know. I don't know what their cap situation's like.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I did read something about LeBron and them trying to bring AD back together.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, well, I mean,
I don't know how the numbers fit there, but
like,
why?
Why?
Like,
why are teams still trading
it's a
for
geriatric
Davis?
unit that they're throwing out there? I don't get it.
Why would anyone want Trae Young on their team? I don't understand. God. I mean, yeah, he puts up numbers. What does it amount to? Nothing. It doesn't. It never amounts to winning. I mean, yeah, it just I don't get it. I don't get it.
My brother-in-law has an irrational hatred of Trae Young. I mean, despises everything about him. I will get random text messages in the middle of the night with articles about Trae Young's, numbers, his defensive numbers, from my brother-in-law. And I'm just, and then he's just like, I don't believe this guy is still in the NBA. How does he is obsessed. And this contract is, I mean, it's a joke. This is why teams end up in purgatory.
Right. It's why the Wizards are going to stink again for the next 5 years. I mean, DeBanza might be really good, but, and I think he will be, but I mean, yeah. So, all right, let's build a team around two injured guys that, one guy's a very flawed player in Trae Young, and then Davis never plays. Yeah, it's weird. It's just like, it's like, guys, I mean, I'm not saying it's easy, but I think these teams make it harder than it needs to be. I don't know. I mean, and again, it just speaks to the way Leon Rose went about this whole thing is so different than pretty much any other NBA team,
Right.
I mean, I was a big Brunson guy. I said it on a show a million years ago when he was coming. It's one of the few things I got right. I said he'll be a better pro than Trae Young. So all you got to do is just watch Jalen Brunson play. Yes, he can't jump, and he's not fast, and he's not the greatest shooter, and he's not athletic, and all these. But just watch him play. The guy knows how to play basketball. He understands angles. He understands pace. He understands. He's Jalen Brunson's had an old man game since he was 15.
Correct.
So, like, lack of athleticism is not going to affect him it's not going to be a problem. Like, as he continues to get older, I don't think it's going to, because he doesn't rely on quickness and athleticism and speed to be good, right?
Right.
And, you know, in those days, I think the NBA is finally starting to learn. But in those days, God forbid you stayed in college for 3 years and won something.
Jamal, you know how I feel about this. Look, I'm going to sound like an old man now, but like, college is where you learn how to win.
Yeah.
You know, there are these, you know, 19-year-old superstar freak athletes. You know, the kid from Kansas this year, he barely played.
Yeah, Darren Peterson.
Darren Peterson. You know, that kid needs 3 years in college. He like, this was a transitional year for him. Now you're going to expect him to make the jump to the NBA and positively affect your franchise's fortunes. I just don't see it. He hasn't learned any. He played for one of the best coaches in college basketball. He didn't take advantage of that opportunity. You know, and you look at these guys that stick around 2-3 years, they learn how to go on these winning runs. And to me, that's what college is for. I think the one and dones or the none and dones, I mean, like, yes, there are a very, you know, handful of guys that are super successful in the NBA. But I think the product, I love college basketball. You know that. I used to love college basketball.
Yeah.
I think the college basketball product has gotten worse, and I think the NBA product has gotten worse, quite frankly.
100%.
Because I think, you know, kids sticking around and learning, you know, team dynamics and how to, you know, build a championship, it can only help, you know, you when you get to the league. And I think, you know, look at a kid like Ja Morant, you know, that kid could have stuck around for a while and learned a lot. You know, playing for a few more years under you know, some pretty good coaching, but I don't know.
The NBA model, it's just a bad model, right? The one and done thing is terrible. So what ends up happening is you have these kids that come out, they're not ready, right? Mature, certainly from a maturity perspective, sometimes physically, right? They're not ready yet. They may be super talented, but they're not ready for the rigors of an NBA season and going up against grown-ass men. And then they're always going to these shitty franchises that are poorly run, like the Wizards and Charlotte.
The Nets.
And the Nets and all these other places. So they get bet. They don't get coached well. They probably get enabled and coddled, and they don't learn how to be pros, right? And look how many lottery picks in the last 10 years are on their third team, fourth team, fifth team. That doesn't it happens a little bit in the NFL only because of the salary cap aspect of it.
Right.
But, I mean, it's completely different because the NFL, they make these kids play for at least 3 years. So by the time they get to the NFL, they've been through the rigors. They've been through the wars. They know a little bit more what it's like. And NFL rookies struggle mightily too. But you don't see them gone. Like D'Angelo Russell, perfect example, right? That guy played 1 year at Ohio State, left. He was on the Nets. He was a disaster. He went to the Lakers, boom, back to the Nets, this one, that. He's been on like 4 teams already. And he's like 27 years old. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah, it's a terrible model. But you see, now teams are starting to finally figure it out a little bit. You saw all these Michigan guys now get drafted in the first round. 5 years ago, none of those guys, Luxembourg or whatever his name is, he's 24. No, don't want that guy. No way. Let me draft some Lithuanian kid who's 17 years old, who's 6'11" and 185 pounds.
Who's played against no one.
Exactly. Frank Ntilikina, anybody?
Don't start with me. You know my hot buttons, Jamal.
I know, buddy. I know. Oh, man. All right, shifting gears. I know your Yankees are on a little bit of a cold streak here.
Buddy, I want to tell you something. I would prefer you don't refer to them as my Yankees, because you know how many innings of Yankee baseball I've watched this year?
None?
0.
Wow.
None. And I've been out on this franchise for a couple of years. I just think they are the antithesis of what the Knicks did this year. They are just coasting. And if they don't care, why should I care? I'm not saying the players. I'm not talking about the players.
Yeah.
But if the organization doesn't care, then why should I care?
Yeah.
Why? Because
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the laundry. Yeah, I will always be a Yankee fan.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm a little spoiled, but I'm kind of disgusted by the apathy and
Yeah.
just like, Hal could care less. He built that monstrosity of a shithole.
That's awful.
It's awful.
Terrible.
Can't stand it.
So bad.
He's allowed Booney to manage his guys, and just put out a shit product every year. And like, I don't want to hear people saying, well, they make the playoffs every year. Yeah, big deal. They've got one of the highest payrolls. If they don't make the playoffs every year, there's a huge problem. The product they put out on the field is not good baseball. It's just not. And I really don't care. Like, I really don't care to watch them get no hit for 7 innings, to start a series in Boston against the worst team in the American League East.
Like Sonny Gray, who, when he was, of course,
like the fact that those guys aren't chomping at the bit with their bats, fighting each other to get to the bat rack.
Yeah.
When they know they're facing Sonny Gray, and he goes out and no hits. Come on.
I mean, he's had a good year,
on.
but yeah, he's not exactly. Yeah. No, I know.
I'm really frustrated, and I've been out on this. Look, I said to my boys a couple years ago, until they fire Boone, I just can't stand the guy. I can't stand what he allows to happen on a baseball field on a night in, night out basis. Base running, fielding, just little league type errors and mental errors, and it really. And then he steps in front of the mic and he defends it.
Yeah.
He defends it, and he basically lies, and he's not helping anyone. He's not helping those players. He's not helping Austin Wells, saying, he's putting together some really good, Wellesley is putting together some really good at-bats, and he made really good contact. The dude's 0 for 117, dude. He doesn't have an RBI in 3 years. Okay, he stinks. Don't tell him how good his at-bats are.
Yeah.
So he's going back to his dugout at night, his locker at night, going, "Yeah, I think I had some good at bats. It's coming. It's coming."
I mean, it's strange too, right? Because he's from a baseball family.
Yes.
Third generation, right? His grandfather played, his father played, his father managed, his brothers played. How much do you put in general, and on the Yankees specifically, on the role that analytics and what I think is an over-reliance on analytics as part of the problem?
It's a huge problem. That organization is not run on feel at all. It's not run on culture at all. It's not run on, the dynamics in the clubhouse, in the dugout. You look at the 2009 team, it had a bunch of knuckleheads. Okay? You had Swisher, you had Johnny Damon, you had, a few idiots to keep that place, loose when they needed to be loose, in check when they needed to be checked.
Yeah.
That was
best A-Rod ever played for the Yankees was that year when
exactly right.
A little bit of the spotlight was taken away from him, and it wasn't all on his shoulders, and he could just kind of go out there and play.
Right. And now I look around. First of all, I cannot believe in my lifetime, Jamal, there has not been a single homegrown third baseman in the Yankees organization. Think about it.
No, they got him from
from Cleveland.
Cleveland, yeah.
From Cleveland.
Yeah.
He's not homegrown.
Yeah.
In my lifetime, they have not developed and that is a position that, I'm sorry, is fairly important.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, now Ben Rice is here. He's a first baseman. So, or is he a catcher? I don't know. Finally, I think the debate's been settled. He's a first baseman.
Yeah.
Let him play at first base.
He's hitting the hell out of the ball, yeah.
But, I just think the construction of this team is horrible. And the fact that they're still running Anthony, I mean, I saw something the other day where the Yankees they haven't turned a double play in a month.
Well,
because Volpe can't turn a double play.
Yeah.
He's horrible. You and I have stronger arms than Anthony Volpe.
Yeah, he's I'm gonna guess you're not a huge Jazz Chisholm fan.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not really. I mean,
the great lollipop debate?
Yeah,
You hear about that?
yeah.
Nonsense. Yeah.
He was entertaining when he came over. He wore out his welcome pretty quickly.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
Yeah.
And you know the whole thing with running it back, and it's like a slap in the face. Like, so when I heard that last year, oh, we're running it back, I just thought, well, explain to me how you're going to win that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you're just relying on the fact that other teams are going to get worse.
Yeah. Well, the American League stinks.
It's horrible. It's the only reason we're in first place.
Yeah, it's
Seriously.
really bad. There's like
In the
4
American
good
League-
teams in the American League.
They're so bad.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming teams are kind of ripe for the picking at the trade deadline, and
Yeah.
maybe we'll patch some holes.
Yeah.
Can't believe that this lineup that we're running out there on a nightly basis is going to be the lineup but
Yeah.
uh,
Well, there's plenty of guys on the Mets that you're welcome to if you'd like.
well, they were all on the Yankees.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, if you guys want Luke
like
Weaver
a whiny
back,
Yankee crybaby, but you know, I
hear you.
I just I'm frustrated. And I have been frustrated. Like this is not something new. I've been out on this team for a while, and I just, you know, everyone talks about what a great guy Booney is.
Yeah.
I think he might be the most disliked manager on the part of the umpires in all of baseball.
Yeah. He does an awful lot of moaning and groaning.
He certainly does.
Yeah, he does.
He can be a little bitch, and I think his act has grown tired. I think he grew tired a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I just don't think he's built to win,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't think Hal cares.
Yeah, it's weird. I know. Well, I mean, and little things, and again, I'm showing my age. I get it, but like, you know, the fact that like they changed the helmets a little bit to like that matted, you know, they wear alternate jerseys now, like stuff the Yankees was unheard. Now they can have beards, like just. I mean, that's what always set the Yankees apart. That's what made the Yankees the Yankees. They didn't go in for this horse shit that the rest of the Major League Baseball does. And, you know, I was certainly a Yankee hater in the 90s just because I was jealous. But you hit me with truth serum, I'm going to tell you I always admire the organization and the franchise, and they were always the opposite of the Mets. And Mets had little pockets of success here and there, but it was never sustained. And the Mets were a Mickey Mouse organization. The Yankees were the complete opposite of that. And now they're kind of delving into that realm a little bit. But I do think a lot of it is the analytics side. Because, I mean, like Brian Cashman, who, look, has had a very good career as a general manager, no denying that. But, like, he'll look at Jazz Chisholm's OPS and say, well, that, you know, it's a good career. Who cares? Does he fit in with the team? Does he help you win games? I don't give a shit that he has a 780 career OPS, and that's 2/3 higher than the average. Like, they've gotten lost in the sauce here. All the GMs. I mean, the Mets guy's the worst of them all, David Stearns. I mean, the Mets have the worst first base situation in all of Major League Baseball. They've started... Not one guy who started at first base for the Mets is an actual first baseman. Truth. Okay? Not one.
Okay.
You had a guy who, look, imperfect player though he was and still is in Pete Alonso, who was a homegrown guy who the fan base loved. And again, not perfect, but you know you're going to get 30 and 100. And guess what? The guy plays 160 games every single year and cares and worked at it. Yes, he's never going to be a Gold Glove first baseman, but he at least got good at scooping balls out of the dirt on throws. And yes, his footwork was never going to be good. He's a big lumbering lummox. Okay, that's not his fault. And I don't you have the richest owner in the sport. What David Stearns? What do you care about contract length and money for? You're not in Milwaukee anymore. He's a known quantity. He got the biggest home run this team has had in ages against Devin Williams and the Brewers 2 years ago. And I'm not saying you only sign a guy for that, but it's part of the picture.
Right.
Why you wouldn't just give him, 5 years, $150 million, call it a day? But no, he knows better. He He thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, and
Right.
they are so overly analytics driven. It's infuriating to the point where, again, I don't want to sound like the old guy, like, oh, I hate analytics. It's not working. The team is terrible. The record is awful. Stop batting Juan Soto second. He's the only guy that can hit a home run or driving a run on your team. Why are you hitting him second? Because analytics say so? Your team stinks. You can't score runs. It's ridiculous.
It's insane. Where are
get
you
it.
on Soto as a Met? How are you feeling about that whole situation?
Honestly, I didn't like it at the time. I just thought it was a lazy move. Like, anybody could just throw a boatload of money at the guy. He's to give somebody, again, it's not my money. I don't really care. And as long as it's not going to hamstring the team from making other moves, it doesn't really bother me. But to try to make him the face of the franchise and give him an insane contract like that when he's a one-dimensional player.
Yeah.
I mean, he's passable in left field. He's a lousy right fielder. He's passable in left. His miscue last night, notwithstanding. I don't know if you saw that. You see the little
No.
home
What
run?
did he do last
Oh,
night?
yeah. So George Springer leads off the game, hits like a dying quail into left field. Soto mistimes it. The ball bounces over him, and then he Cadillacs it going back to go chase the ball down at the warning track. So this center fielder, A.J. Ewing, the rookie, comes sprinting over, and in his haste to try to scoop the ball up, flaps the ball against the wall, and Springer scores all the way. It comes a triple and an
no.
error to start the game.
Leadoff batter?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So to answer your question, I'm not a fan. I think he's the kind of guy that if he goes, 2 for 4 with a walk and puts up his numbers, he's happy, win or lose. I don't know if you saw Eric Chavez, former A's third baseman and was the Mets hitting coach, and he just talked about this yesterday, I think. Apparently, like, during games, Soto's like down in the clubhouse sitting on a couch, like watching the game on the TV. And nobody says anything. And he brought it up, and apparently David Stearns, he said to David Stearns, look, it's not setting a good example for the rest of the team and the young players. And apparently David Stearns' reply was, well, they need to learn that they're not Juan Soto.
That's a disaster.
I mean, it's one person's account, and the Mets, of course, have not responded to this. But, I mean, yeah. Look, I didn't like the guy. I'm consistent. I didn't like him when he was on the Nationals. I didn't like his whole little shuffle move that he does in the batter's box and how he likes to kind of tease and taunt and whatever. Like, whatever. It's not my thing, right? Like,
I get
in
it.
the old days, you did that. You're going to get one right in the ribs. Try doing that against, listen, I'm not a Clemens guy, but you do that against Clemens. You do that against Rick Sutcliffe. You do that against Coney. Like, those, any of the Mets pitchers, like, they're not having it. They were not having that. But I get it. It's a different era now. We've got to let the kids play.
It is a different era because I look at Wilson Contreras and his antics. Now it seems like the dynamic has shifted. Like it's in the batter's favor. Like you can act the fool all you want, and if a pitcher dares to throw up and in, pitcher's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, how dare he?
Joey Bats now looks quaint by comparison to the nonsense that goes on. And don't get me started on these contrived dugout celebrations, please, after home runs. I mean, hey, New York Mets, do you not know how stupid and silly you look with this now Spider-Man mask horse shit? Guys, you're 15 games under 500. Your season is over. You're losing 8-0. A guy hits a home run, and you put on a Spider-Man mask? What? What are we
I hear the
doing?
Twins are going to put a mechanical bull in their dugout for when they hit a home run once a month.
I mean,
Such a joke.
The Angels do it with their weird thing, and the Red Sox with this stupid laundry card or whatever, or whatever their thing is now.
The Blue Jays
The Blazer, yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I can't stand it.
I mean, guys throwing their bats 50 feet up in the air. What is
Wilson
going
Contreras
on?
threw his bat after a walk the other day. I was like, are you kidding me?
Full
bat flip after a walk.
Remember, how am I going to forget his name? He wore number 00. He used to do the 2 flaps down his back pockets. Not Jeff Burrows. That used to rankle people. Like people used to get, if you took too long.
For the Giants, right?
What's that?
For the Giants?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that guy?
It's driving me crazy. How could I not remember this?
Jeff Leonard?
Jeff Leonard. Thank you. Jeffrey Leonard. Yeah.
Jeffrey Leonard.
Jeffrey Leonard.
Flaps down.
He used to do the 2 flaps down. Yeah. I mean, and that used to piss people off. And then
totally. Oh my gosh.
Nothing by comparison. Yeah. So it's just, look, again, I'm not against change if it makes the sport better. I don't think it's made the sport better. I think the sport's way worse. Way worse.
It is.
There's no, the whole starting pitching thing is a disaster. You know, the days of, one stud ace going against another stud ace, those barely exist anymore. And even if it is, you're lucky if both guys go 7 innings. It's just not good.
It drives me nuts, Jamal, when a middle reliever comes in the 6th and gets out of the inning on 9 pitches, and he's done. His night's over.
Yep, that's it. Preordained.
That's
Forget
it.
about what's actually happening in the game. Don't believe your lying eyes. Believe the analytics.
Guy's feeling good.
Yep.
Doesn't matter who's coming up in the order, but he's got to go.
Yep.
That dude needs to sit down right now.
Yep.
And we'll take our chances with guy number C.
Yep.
And it's like,
Yeah.
who knows if he has it? The guy who just pitched showed you he has it today.
Yeah.
He's got his stuff working. It's good stuff.
Yep.
Let's let him go maybe until he gets into, shows a couple signs of trouble. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, it's like that guy sits, and that drives me nuts.
Yeah. And remember, this used to be a thing. It's not a thing anymore. Remember, starting pitchers would get stronger as the game wore on. They might struggle a little bit early and then find a groove. And
oh my gosh.
This rookie for the Mets just did it the other night against the Phillies. He got roughed up a little bit in the first inning, found his way, and by the 6th inning, he was dominating. He struck out the side. Get him out. 78 pitches. Get him out. Got to get him out.
Yeah.
Got to get him out of the game. Why? He's a rookie. Wouldn't you want to see? And your season's lost anyway. Wouldn't you want to see if he can continue to? But no, they don't even bother anymore.
Why? If that situation comes up in the future, they're going to do the same thing.
I know.
They're going to get him out after 6, maybe 7 1/3.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's it.
Now it's I mean they a lot of people like the rules changes, and I guess, but like the fact that, to me, that was just lazy. Like, someone just decided that the hit and run isn't a worthy strategy anymore. Why? I don't know. It's like if you told me, oh, you know what? We don't like the screen pass anymore in the NFL. We're just going to get rid of that. The analytics show it's not a good play, so we're just going to get rid of that. Even though somehow it worked for 50 years and hit and run worked for 120 years. But now all of a sudden,
High pick and roll. High pick and roll. Done.
Yeah, right. It's
Get
gone.
rid of it.
We'll get rid of that. And so then they had to come up with, you can only throw over to first base a certain amount of times, and the pitch clock and the ghost runner and all these things where, like, I guess it's made the sport a little bit more watchable. The pace of play is, I guess, but to me, it's just kind of lazy. Like, you had to alter the fabric of the sport and the rules of the sport so much just to get people to be kind of interested in it. I mean, I don't know. I don't.
You want a younger generation of viewers? How about starting a World Series game before 8:00 Eastern time?
It's ridiculous.
I remember seeing Dodger Stadium in sunlight as a kid.
Yeah.
In a World Series game, like in daylight.
Yeah.
A 3:00 start or a 4:00 start on the East Coast. 1:00 start in LA. Going, this is amazing. Look at that place. Look at Chavez Ravine. It's beautiful.
Beautiful. Yep.
And I could watch the whole game.
I know. I mean, listen, I know I'm an angry old guy, but
Me too.
I know.
I'm getting proud of it.
But I mean, again, just show me the evidence to the contrary. Like, I don't think it's a better product, and the ratings would suggest that we're right too. By the way.
Right.
So, anyway, all right, my man. It has been an absolute pleasure. We will do this again in the not too distant future.
Let's do it when football is knocking on our door.
For sure. Yeah.
This was a blast, buddy.
All right. Yeah, dude.
Keep it up.
Yeah, I'll keep grinding away. Got to spread the word and see if we can get some sponsors at some point.
Well, I'm here to help.
I know, buddy. All right, man.
All right.
Love you, pal.
Love you too. That was great, buddy.